Welcome to the Grabbing the Brisket podcast. We definitely appreciate the listen. Do us a favor and click the like and follow to keep up with what's latest going on with the Grabbing the Brisket crew. Also, do us a favor, man. Drop us a review. We would love to hear the feedback. Good, bad, or Alden would say indifferent. Dang it, Bobby. Just grab the brisket.
Can I just announce that we have a new partner?
Announce it away, John.
Can I get some announcement music or something? I feel like we should have some. We're not getting married. What is he doing?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know what's going on.
Forget it. We'll do it without the music.
What is announcement music?
I don't know what
that
announcement music is.
Can we
That's
do
an
that?
update.
Oh, that's a breaking news.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a breaking news.
same thing. Announcement, breaking news, same thing.
We're going live on
Breaking
location.
Okay, forget it. Our new partner is Yeti Coolers. So
Nice.
that's freaking awesome because we use the shit out of Yeti. Like,
we
it's
do.
nice to have a sponsor. I mean, all of our sponsors are stuff that we use and love.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, we use the shit out of Yeti.
To hold
yeah.
all our juice boxes and
Right,
whatnots.
water
Gatorades
bottles and
The briskets.
correct. We do rest a lot
The
of briskets
ones we
in
don't
them.
grab in the brisket, they go into the Yeti. That is very
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty stoked about that.
I love that. And you know what else I'm stoked? Well, can we just go ahead and say, hey, Matt and Jan are not here this week?
Yeah,
They
so
are
you'll
not-
probably hear the rest of us talk more.
Yeah. Be a whole lot of us.
Which is good. It's either going to be good or bad.
Yeah,
so
it's weird. It's
we're
like
going to find
the
out. When's the
ratings-
last time we was three-pieced?
The ratings just skyrocketed.
Right? What happened?
Right. Probably not, but hey, let's go ahead and roll in. Let's get the phone. I feel like, hey, let's dial in. Let's get up the phone, and we're gonna dial Matt and call him right
Your
now.
fingers is like you're doing the rotary phone.
You're lying, John. Actually, it was, but I do remember having a phone like that before.
On
Not
the wall.
at my house, but it was at my grandma's house.
My grandma had one too.
On
Yeah.
the wall. Yeah.
Now, I saw a cool video where they gave a phone like that to younger kids, and they're like, okay, and it worked. It was like, hey, you have to call
Yeah.
so and so.
They were like, "We'll give you $100 if you can do this in the next 5 minutes." And they couldn't.
They couldn't do it.
No, they were
None
like,
of them could.
They were like poking in the numbers, and they're like, "How does this work?"
Done.
So good. Kids are dumb.
Kids are very dumb. All right, so Jan's in Vegas. Matt, he's quarantined at home because I guess one of his kids' classmates came down with COVID, so they're doing the quarantine.
Hope that kid gets
Thing.
better soon.
Yeah, so they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We appreciate you, Matt. Jan's running around in Vegas. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
hopefully
Not
he's having a good time.
quarantining.
Not quarantining. Yeah, so just the spectrum, just both ends of the spectrum right there. So very nice. So
And he left us here to fucking figure this shit out, dude.
exactly, hey, we're over here just pushing buttons.
That's what we do.
So-
What's that button do?
Don't touch the board, please.
Definitely do not touch the board.
What does this mic do?
You're going to push one of these buttons and it's going to eject you out of this
Yeah.
garage.
Look at that. It shot Alden out on the lawn.
So we have an awesome guest coming up here in a few minutes, probably as soon as I get done with this introduction. So we got Matt Groark from Groark Boys Barbecue. So we've seen him all over social media. So anybody that's in probably cooking or barbecue field has probably seen some of his videos that he's producing. I know he's got a lot of how-to barbecue cook type stuff. I know he cooks on a badass like Myron Mixon water smoker.
He cooks on lots of
I'm
stuff, I think.
Interested in seeing. I know he does a lot of Weber cookings too. So hopefully we can get. Again, we only have a short period of time to discuss all this stuff with him. So hopefully we can get to it all. So I'm just gonna, hey John, let's go ahead and just get this guy dialed up.
Let's go.
All right, so this is James from Grabbing the Brisket guys, and hey, let's welcome in Matt Groark from Groark Boys Barbecue. So I'm a huge fan. I'm familiar with your work all over social media, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So hey, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to shoot a little shit with us and talk a little barbecue.
Sure thing, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's 9 p.m. over here on the East Coast, so the boys are in bed. I got my beer open, so we're good.
Nice, nice. What's the beer of choice?
I'm drinking a Miller High Life now.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little old school.
Whereabouts on the East Coast?
I'm in South Jersey. So I'm about a half hour outside of Philly.
Okay. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we discussed a little bit of that with Al Dente Diva.
Yeah, I'm in a town called Medford Lakes. I teach in Washington Township High School, which is one of the biggest. Well, it's the biggest school in South Jersey. So huge high school. T is, I think, about 2.5 hours north of me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
so crazy, man.
we're gonna link up at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Everything up north is so close, man. And being down here where we're at, we're most of us are Dallas Cowboys fans, and you being in like Jersey, we know where like Maryland's at, and Landover, Maryland, where Washington's at, stuff like that. It's like they seem so close, but then they have to travel way down here to play Dallas. Like, what's that all about?
That's why when most people ask me where I'm from, it's so much easier for, from a location standpoint for people that are further down south or out west, just to kind of keep hitting at Philly,
Sure.
Philadelphia, and that I'm fairly close to there. And being an Eagles fan, people tend to, at least on social media, they tend to think I live in Philly. But South Jersey, the area I'm in, is kind of like, it's referred to as like Little Philly. A lot of transplants that grew up in Philly and then came over to kind of live that suburban life, kind of moved into the town where, the areas where I'm at now.
Yeah, we're kind of in a similar fashion. So we're just south of Houston in a little suburb called Pearland. So, and a lot of people get it confused and they call it Pearl Land. So it's really, so we all know all too much about that. And hopefully the Cowboys Philly deal is not an issue. I know it's not an issue with us.
Not at all. Not
Sorry
at all.
to tell you guys, but not at all. Listen, we're all struggling this year, so I think
for
we're
sure.
all in the same boat, really.
I'm just glad we got a little football that we can sit there and watch and cheer for.
I know. That's at the very least. It's, it takes your mind off things for a little bit.
So how's the? We're all kind of, I guess, in the same boat, struggling with the COVID and trying to navigate this whole circumstance that we're under with. But I know you do barbecue. I know you probably do a little catering as well, and I know you do a lot of cooking for charities and some type of fundraising events and stuff like that. For the people that may not be familiar with your work, why don't you go ahead and just let them know who you are and maybe drop some Instagram ads and TikToks and all that stuff, like where they can find you at.
Yeah, so my name's Matt Groark. Groark Boys Barbecue is the name of the barbecue business that I started little over 2 years ago now. September was 2 years, so it really hasn't even been that long that I've been in the catering, event, business. I've been playing around in my backyard with the smoker and barbecue for 5-6 years now. I've been in food my whole life. Grew up working in restaurants and kitchens, all through, from the time I was 16 until my early 30s. I would get done teaching on Friday and shoot right to the restaurant and wait tables all night, and then go out Friday night, go out Saturday night, spend all the money that I made waiting tables and be up for school in the morning,
Yes.
So that's kind of, so I mean, I really was familiar with that lifestyle in terms of the restaurants and kitchens. It was something that I felt like I wanted to do early on when I was in high school. And there was a chef that I worked with way back when I was 16 and impressionable. And he actually told me in the kitchen one time when we were talking about wanting to go to Johnson and Wales for culinary and stuff. I worked my way up from washing dishes at 16 to being on the line with him, helping him prep and, all that stuff and plate. So he told me one day, he was like, listen, if you want a family and you want to have kids and holidays with your family and stuff, you might want to rethink being a chef, because it's, on all those holidays when you're going to want to be home with your family and kids, you're going to be in a kitchen cooking for other families.
Yeah.
And that is weird. At a young age, that hit me. It really did. And, sure enough, I didn't get into it and went to college. And, I've been teaching since 2003. I'm 42. And, my father-in-law about 5 years ago dropped a $160 master built smoker in my kitchen and was like, listen, I've had this. He ordered it off Amazon and had it in his garage for like 6 months, like never used it. And he was like, here. And he gave it to me. And that was it, man. That was like all I needed. And that next morning, I think I ran out that night and got some wings and a pork butt and some sausage and a bunch of stuff. And that morning I woke up at like 5 a.m. like it was Christmas morning. Put that thing together, threw some meat on there. And that was it, man. That was all she wrote. I was hooked. There's something, guys, about waking up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and getting a coffee and sitting outside just watching, making a fire and, watching the smoke and checking temperatures and really enjoying the process. And that's what I've really grown to love the most, which is why I don't really use pellet grills a whole lot and things like that, because as convenient as they are, and they all have a place, but I just love that process so much. And that's what I've really grown passionate about, is playing with fire. And along with that comes messing up some food too. And I still do at times, but, if you're not messing things up every once in a while, you're not learning. So, it kind of blew up from there. And being a teacher, as I started cooking more, a lot of my family, friends in the neighborhood started tasting my stuff and they liked it. And then next thing you know, hey, my kid's having a birthday party. Would you mind making some pulled pork for me? Be like, all right, throw me $30, it cost me 15 to buy, most of the stuff I need. At first I was just doing it for cost. I'm like,
oh yeah,
here, it cost me $15. Just give it to me and come hang out and bring a 6-pack and, I'll give you the food. And then once I got to a point where I was like, man, this could really be something. I started doing it just from my backyard, like, charging like double whatever my cost was. And that was just for friends and family and stuff, just word of mouth. And the whole time I was doing that, I kind of transitioned. My Instagram went from, my kids and my family and things we were doing, just everyday life, like most people's Instagrams are, to them being filled with meat.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, guys, this is just funny shit. I had people actually DM me saying, hey, I just want to see your kids. Like, that's why I follow you.
We're done with the meat pics, man.
Yeah, like, how people
how the kids doing?
People have this like internal, like, selfish need to tell you that they're unfollowing you. Like, I would have noticed.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Just
like,
leave.
hey,
just
let me
leave.
drop the line just to let you know I'm not following you anymore. I'm like, okay. My response was like, okay, like, okay. And that happened. That happened with multiple people, and that was when it really hit home that, man, this is going to be something. And I kept posting, and people were commenting, or were super supportive. You guys know the food community is crazy and drama filled as it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's one that's more supportive in the long run. It's just been crazy. And that's kind of how it started. I was posting and from a social media standpoint, that's how I started to build it. I started a YouTube and never really touched it, but I had one. The Instagram was growing, and I was so focused on that and trying to post and make good content. And at that time, people were like so hooked on reaching out and pitching companies for free shit all the time. And I got wrapped up in that as much as anybody did. Felt like I was the coolest person on the block when I got a free knife from some knife company, and it's cool to sit back now and watch how much that has changed. Where, honestly, the people out there taking free stuff from companies are actually hurting, people like T and I, and hurting themselves. in terms of wanting to turn this into something that can actually be a paycheck or profitable.
Yeah.
So that's been the most crazy thing over the last year, especially since COVID happened, you know. But the business kind of grew from the ground floor up, like starting with that stuff. And then, you know, being a teacher, my wife and I had gone through some struggles building our family. We had, you know, 5 losses overall in the process of having our 2 kids, and just, it's all heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. But as a teacher, there aren't many better communities you could be part of when you have students every day and colleagues and community members and families that just lift you up, you know. And that's what I found through all that time, that I just had such an amazing support system outside of just my immediate family, which is a given. You know, so our last loss that we had was about 18 weeks in, and it was a complete shocker. And you know, we just went to an ultrasound one day and his heart stopped, and you know, it was rock bottom, man. And I missed school for about a week, and my wife was out for a while. At the time, we had our 2 boys. So, you know, with that being said, we were blessed to have the boys we have, but, you know, I'm blessed to be able to come home to them, because they, you know, just having them was, you know, our saving grace. But when I got back to school, I'm a health and phys ed teacher. So it just so happened that I was in health the marking period that it happened. And my second period class, the day I went back, I didn't really know how to handle it. They all knew that we were pregnant. They knew that I was expecting a 3rd kid. A lot of them, my son went to daycare at my high school, because they have a daycare program at the school for teachers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So a lot of my students had met my kids and knew them by first name, you know? So when I came to school that day, they knew something was wrong, because I don't miss a week at a time ever. And so I pulled up a chair and I just sat down in the middle of the room, and I told them what happened. You know, we cried. I cried. I was vulnerable, and they cried and were upset. And, you know, that's kind of how I handled it. So I took it as an opportunity to teach. I try to take everything as an opportunity to teach. I try to make my social media, you know, to educate people a little bit, not just on food, but on how to treat people and how to act. I try to hopefully show people some laughter and fun and positivity. So a couple days after that long talk with all my classes, my second period class met me at the front of the room, and they handed me a card, and it said, you know, a bunch of stuff about how much they appreciate me and what a great job you know, how much they appreciate me teaching them about keeping your head up and being positive through everything. And they put Sixers tickets in there. They bought for my wife and I, and told us to go take a night off and go on a date and, you know, have a good time. And they recorded my reaction and they posted it on Twitter with my permission. With my permission. They asked me first, and I said sure, because at the time I was loving social media, right? I was all over with the food and stuff, and it kind of went viral. And when I saw that, when I saw it happen, I wanted to do something for them. So I reached out to the Sixers and some contacts that I had, and long story short, we ended up turning into a big field trip, and we all went. I brought all my kids and my parents and some family members, and we all went to the Sixers game together. It was on every news channel around, and it ended up in LA. Like it ended up on an affiliate station out in Los Angeles. And I had a friend his name's Udi, and Udi Greenberg, and he's from Meet the Butchers on Instagram, and he reached out to me and said, listen, I saw what your kids did for you. I want you to throw a barbecue for them. And I was like, well, I teach at a school with like 2,500 kids. I can't just throw a barbecue for 20 of them.
Right.
You know, they would kill me. At the time, a lot of the kids knew that I cooked and stuff. So I ended up, you know, he said, whatever you think you can do, go for it. And I got in touch with my administration, and we turned it into a big, huge fundraiser. And I did pulled pork sandwiches, chips, and a bottle of water for $10 at the home opening football game. And we raised like over $3,000 for 3 different charities. And that's where it started. So in order to do that, I had to have a business to run that fundraiser. So I did that. I started the business, and that was my first quote unquote like gig. And it was a rousing success, and kind of established me as someone in the community that not only wants to give back, but wants to continue to pay it forward through my business, you know. And I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that. My first year in business, I raised about $25,000 for charities. So in veterans, I did MS, the MS Society, Operation Smile. My oldest son was born with a cleft lip and palate. So that's kind of how it all exploded. I've made so many friendships and partnerships now with different foundations that, you know, the charity and fundraisers just kind of, you know, come along with it. And being a teacher, I do a lot of the stuff through the school. You know, a lot of their fundraisers and community events I'm always part of, which is why COVID sucks so bad, because a lot of that has been shut down. So I'm taking the fall and winter off from the catering for the most part, or the events. And I'm really just doing like small catering jobs, you know, nothing crazy. So that's kind of the short of it, even though I rambled on for a little while.
No, you're
good, man. I do want to say, man, it's admirable what you do, man. You know, and I'm going to tell you first and foremost, it's kind of weird sometimes when we have guests on, you know, and most we've heard of, some we haven't, and it's like now I got to go research, you know, do my research, and sometimes I feel like a creep, you know, just like researching people, you know what I mean? And
stalking. You mean
yeah,
stalking?
like stalking, yeah, like stalking and stuff like that, and like I say, you know, you were talking about the Sixers thing, and I saw that, you know, on YouTube, and for some reason I was having problems with YouTube, and I wasn't able to watch the video, and but you know, and what I want to get to was how was your experience on the Good Morning America, man? Is, you know, with all your charity stuff that you were doing and stuff like that. How was that whole experience for you?
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, it was such a shock that ended up turning out the way it did in terms of the grant that they gave to myself and the other small business owner who was a daycare owner, I think down in Georgia. And I mean, that all came through thanks to my relationship and the support from Sam's Club. You know, I was doing, the way that kind of went down was crazy. I was doing a cook for a group that when COVID hit, March, April, there was a group in my community that got together and started a foundation to feed hospital workers, EMTs, you know, frontline people.
Sure,
And,
I did see that in my the whole time I was, you know, basically stalking you. I did see that story. So
yeah, so that was actually the guy who started it. Him and his mom. He's a buddy of mine just from around town. So when I saw him doing that, I just reached out to him and was like, listen, if I can provide some barbecue for a day, you know, let me know. I'd love to do it. And at the time, I didn't know what their basic idea was. I just figured I'd cook and give them some food, and they would take it to the hospital. But the way it actually turned out, which makes their efforts so amazing, not just for frontline workers, but for small business owners, was that they were taking donations in order to buy the food from the small business owners and then feed the frontline workers. So
that's awesome.
that is awesome.
It's crazy, right? So in a lot of situations like that, you go to a restaurant or somewhere and say, hey, would you donate food? Would you give us food to be able to donate to frontline workers? Well, they kind of twisted the whole thing, and not only did they help the frontline workers, but they paid us as well. and to be able to, all these businesses and restaurants that they were able to partner up with, myself included.
Right. Is that kind of
They did
that grant that you were alluding to, I guess, on your bio type deal, man?
Yeah, the Good Morning America
Yeah,
gave.
yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of led to it. So the foundation was paying the small businesses, and we were giving them, like, we were doing it for like half price just because it is a charity.
Sure.
But while I was doing the cook for that, I was on my trailer cooking some pork butts and brisket, and I was going live on TikTok, and I see Sam's Club pop up on my live with their blue check mark, right? And I'm like, whoa, like Sam's Club is watching me right now. So I get all my meat from Sam's Club for catering. So I'm like talking to them on the live, and I'm like, yo, Sam's Club, what's up? Like, I'm the best customer. I'm spending like $1,000 a day at your store. Like, come on, man, throw me a bone. What's up?
Did they ask you what the 2% of the stuff that you don't buy from them is, so maybe they can start carrying it?
Right. Well, I told them on there. They commented, and they were like, well, we were going to ask if that's Sam's Club meat that you're cooking, and I was like, hell yeah, it is. That's where I buy everything. So we got in it after I got off the live. I actually ended up getting a DM from them, and then that turned into an email, and we kind of went forward, just kind of chit chatting a little bit. And then they reached out and said that they were going to do a feature on some small businesses for a campaign that they were doing. And they wanted to kind of just throw out, these small businesses and promote them, best they could as Sam's Club members and small business owners. So I said, sure. And we went through that whole process. And then a few days later, they emailed me and asked if I would be okay with being in the running to possibly be on Good Morning America or Access Hollywood. And I said, hell yeah. Like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love that. Like, can I talk to Mario Lopez or something? Like, that'd be
Right.
cool. So, like, Saved by the Bell.
How
man.
was it
Come on.
working with Zach and everybody on
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, like that guy, man, that was my childhood. So I'm like, yeah, awesome. And it turned out they had like 6 or 7 small businesses, and they were going to pick 2 of them to be featured on Good Morning America. And, I made it along with the other woman who was the daycare owner. And we went through the whole interview process, and we went on, the show. And at the end of the show, they surprised us both with the $10,000 grant from Sam's Club. And I'll tell you, it was a game changer for us as a family, just because of how I knew that eventually I was going to have to shut down this catering thing for a period of time because of COVID. And, we're both in education. My wife and I are both in education. We live paycheck to paycheck, and I've been, I've been working 2-3 jobs at a time my whole teaching career. I've been a coach. I've been a driver's ed instructor. I've been a server at restaurants, bartender. Like, I've done it all. I've never just taught, because that just doesn't make ends meet. So that was a huge help for us. And from a business standpoint, I had just recently bought a trailer, and I was kind of in debt from that. So that 10 grand went right back into my business and paid off that trailer that I bought. So it couldn't have come at a better time with COVID happening. And, to be able to do some things charitable, from a charitable standpoint during COVID has been pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. So you're in the teaching business. Here in Texas, I think they're getting to the point where they're going to have like barbecue classes in high school. Is that something that could happen up there in Jersey?
I'll tell you what, I've read some articles about that, like having classes. And since I've kind of blown up a little bit on TikTok, and all my kids know me, for that now, it's not something that's out of the realm of possibility. I think I could probably start like a smoking club. I don't think I could call it that, but it would have to be like barbecue club. But I don't think that would be out of the realm of possibly happening, because I know I'd get the support. I get the support with anything I do, and we could turn it into like some community, events in
Right.
order to,
For sure.
continue to pay it forward.
Yep. Tell me a little bit. I know you got the trailer, and now you know you have the Myron Mixon water smoker on the trailer.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because our other guy Jan, if he was here today, he'd definitely be asking about that, because we're very curious how those smokers work, how efficient they are.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
I mean, if you want efficiency, that's what they do, man. These things are the MMS 48 that I have it's a tank. They make them in a 36, a 48, and I believe a 60, and then they have like a 72 that's just a freaking monster. I have the 48, which is a pretty average size. I could fit about 20. I think I've had 24 pork butts on that thing. So it can bang out a lot of meat at one time, and it's hot and fast cooking. I adopted really early on. I went to Myron Mixon's barbecue school when I was really early into the smoking game, and when I left there, I was like, hot and fast, man. That's it. That's the way to do it. And as I continued practicing and kind of getting my times down and my temps down, not only is Hot and Fast able to turn out an incredible product that I'll put toe to toe with anybody that smokes 12 to 15 hours, I do it in 5.5.
And you get a little bit of sleep. You're not.
And I sleep, right? And I get sleep, and it's more time with my family, and it's, so I'll never go back. I don't see myself going back. I think even if I get I'm eventually going to get something else. I'm kind of looking forward to that, but I think I'll always cook hot. Like, I'll always cook at 300. I just love it. You can cook hot and fast on any, I cook hot and fast on my Weber kettle in my backyard, but the thing that sets the Myron Mixon smoker apart is the full size integrated water pan that is edge to edge on that thing. So the firebox is below the water pan, and you fill the water pan with an auto fill. You hook the hose up, and that thing stays full the whole time you're cooking. So you don't have to constantly fill it up, which is super convenient. And that water starts to get to a rolling boil, and you get that thing dials in, man, right where you want it. And it just stays. It's all military grade steel insulation. The thing is a tank, and I'll get that to 300, 325. I'll cook mostly at 325 and just let it roll. I do my pork butts and briskets 3 hours. I'm wrapping them, and then, done in another 2. 5 hours, I'm done. And then I rest them for about 3 minimum. I'm resting for almost as long as I'm cooking. So, I think the rest is probably one of the most underrated things in barbecue that people mess up.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we come from a little bit of a backyard cook to competition cook to, I don't know what you call us now, podcast.
Drunk.
Drinking beer, talking on a microphone. But so we cut our teeth doing hot and fast type.
Yep.
Probably not as hot as 325, but really 275 to 300 to maybe a little bit longer. And you're only getting about 3.5 hours of smoke, and then you're wrapping it, and then you're pushing it through that stall, and you're pulling it off. And it just produces just super tender, awesome barbecue. No matter what you cook. You're doing ribs, you're doing pork butt, you're doing brisket. Yeah. It's all the same. Yeah.
It's all hot and fast, and the ribs I'm done in 3 hours. It's killer, and a lot of people are like, well, how does it get tender in just 3 hours? And I'm like, man, that water pan and wrapping it through the stall, and it's like, well, how do you get that smoke ring? And I'm like, your smoke ring, those first three. First off, I think a crazy smoke ring is overrated. Like,
Right.
just because it has a crazy smoke ring doesn't mean it's going to taste good. But regardless of what you're smoking, those first 3 hours are it. Like, you can't. That's all you need. Like, you're not gonna, as long as you're getting that smoke for those first 3 hours,
Right.
you're good beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I need it to get 6 hours of smoke.
Right,
Like,
Yeah,
after that third hour, you're not really gaining much in flavor in terms of smoke.
Yeah, you're just getting that the
Bark at
char
that
on the
point,
outside,
yeah.
the bark
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and really, honestly, depending on how you're running your fire, I mean, it could just be nasty, like bitter,
Right.
creatine soaked, whatever. I remember,
Yeah.
like back in the day, we're doing a competition, and we had this guy next to us that was cooking. He brought this trailer. He's doing an offset smoker. And his whole plan was he was going to do like a 16-hour smoke on this competition.
At a competition.
Yeah, no, he started cooking like on Friday, like morning or whatever it was, and he went all day into the night, and then got finished up. I think we rolled up about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, we're firing up the pits. We threw that brisket on. We cooked in about 6-7 hours. Dude, we totally kicked the shit out of him, and he was so pissed off that he just spent like 16, 18 hours getting no sleep on this brisket. He was so mad, but hey.
It is torture.
Yeah.
It's torture. But this is going to be a little bit of a controversial statement. But bark is overrated. You guys might not even agree with me. I love it, right? Like, I love a nice chunk of, that corner of the pork butt that just has all that goodness in the bark. But
Yeah, like the burnt end.
right.
Yeah.
And the burnt ends are something totally different, right? I mean, but I just don't like my pork butt especially. Like, it's most of the meat is on the inside. Like that bark is just on the edges, and especially when you have really good quality meat. Like, I've cooked some Wagyu briskets and things like that, and I don't really care about the bark on a Wagyu brisket.
Yeah, you care about the flavor.
Right. I don't do competition, so I don't care about that part of it. On a Wagyu brisket, I don't want this sweet, thick bark that's going to mask the flavor of every bite of this beautiful beef that I take, So I do get some good bark, but it's certainly not what you see some people post on social media. Like, look at this bark. Like,
Sure.
Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'll put my food up flavor for flavor against anybody, but certainly they look really, really good with a nice big set bark,
Right.
But I'm just like, I don't know.
We kind of
I've
vary.
had that.
We kind of vary just a little bit. Being in Texas, we're surrounded by people that and they have to cook 16 hours. You do 225. You're using nothing but salt and pepper. All that blah 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 type stuff, and you try and you're like, it's okay, it's good, but where's the flavor at? Where's the seasoning at? I mean, I need a little bit more flavor, and they just don't put it out there. I mean, but hey, everybody's got their own opinion.
I think flavor is key, and then tenderness, and bark is somewhere a little bit less important than those.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So let me ask you, Matt. So we have obviously we talked about him earlier. One of our other podcast mates is not able to be here tonight, but he sent some questions in, and he's actually very curious about your Captain Crunch. And I mean, how's the bark turn out on those? I don't know.
Oh, the Captain Crunch I smoked.
Yeah.
Listen, that was. I mean, they were surprisingly good. I'll tell you, if I'm learning anything through this hashtag that I created on TikTok, does it smoke? It's kind of like a series that I started a couple months ago, and it kind of went viral, and my videos have done good, and it's really what helped me blow up to the point where I got over 1 million, just because the engagement was so out of this world in terms of things people were friggin' commenting for me to smoke. And, you know, keeping in mind that a lot of the demographic is younger, they want to see some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. I mean,
what's the craziest? I mean, I know I've seen the Oreos. I've seen the
What smells the worst?
I'll tell you what, the Captain Crunch was
pretty bad?
surprising. Here's what I've learned.
Did it have crunch berries?
You legitimately can smoke anything. Like, you can smoke anything. And the Captain Crunch was good. I would never make them again. I did a video today. I'm doing just Does It Smoke videos. So every day this week, I'm posting a Does It Smoke video, and that's it. I'm not doing anything else because TikTok has been wonky for like the last month or so. Views are impossible. It's a friggin' mess.
Do they want you to blow up?
It's so crazy. So I'm doing just the Does It Smoke videos. And the last two that I started 2 days ago, I posted one yesterday, one today. This was my third one today. And my first two have gone over like 400,000 views. So they're doing good. And I did pizza today. I smoked a pizza, which we all know is excellent. So there's not even any question there. 2 days ago, I smoked Hot Pockets.
I saw that. Yeah,
I saw the Hot Pockets.
Yeah, the bacon wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrap everything in friggin' bacon because why not? And bacon smokes so well. So those two were good. And then today, I did one today that was hands down the best hashtag Does It Smoke that I've ever done. I don't even know if I want to tell you guys. I might just want to wait for you to watch it tomorrow.
Cliffhanger.
So, and this is, I don't know how old you guys all are, but how old are you?
Same age as you, 42.
Yeah, James is really old. The rest of us are a little younger.
Right, so
we all crushed
guys,
on Kelly Kapowski as well.
Most of these kids nowadays, like, I can't imagine if I ask a kid, when's the last time you ate a honey bun? You know, they're probably like, what'd you call me? Like, what? What's a honey bun? Like, you can only get honey buns in like 7-Eleven now, you know? So I took a honey bun and I wrapped it in bacon and I smoked it. It was insane. It was so good.
Dude, that sounds phenomenal because I like my honey buns warm anyways.
Warm, sticky.
Yeah, they can't be cold.
So here's what I did. So I went to my local 7-Eleven this morning and I picked up 2 honey buns because whenever you get a honey bun, there's always the iced and the glazed.
Yeah, which honey bun are you going for?
So I got them both. I was always an iced guy. I always got the ice, the white icing.
Mm-hmm.
What brand do you have, guys, that would have up there?
Yeah,
Little Debbie's?
Mrs. Baird's?
It was Tasty Cake.
Tasty Cake, okay.
Yeah. So I got both of them. I'm like, I'm wrapping both of these. I'm doing a Does It Smoke both. You got to do both just to see how they react. So I friggin' wrap them both in bacon. I smoked them. It took about 45 minutes at about 275 for the bacon to really cook and render and smoke. And the honey buns, you would think that, like, how do you guys think the iced honey bun would look? The one with the white icing, like you would think
very
white.
Would
think it would melt. Right?
It would melt off, right? It would just disappear.
Dude. It did not. It looked like the white icing did not budge.
A lot of preservatives in that one there.
I'm trying not to be too loud to wake my kids up, but
the honey bun is still
talk
cold.
About some like processed crap. That friggin' thing sat in 275 for 45 minutes, and that white icing didn't budge. It didn't even melt. I'm like, how is that possible? So I say that in my video that I'm going to post tomorrow. But they were really good because the sugars all got really like crunchy, and it was incredible. The bacon almost candied itself because it was pushed up against all that sugar. So it tasted like candied bacon. They were out of this world. If I saw them on a dessert menu at a restaurant, I would order them in a heartbeat.
Your kids must love you for making
Yeah.
all this just dessert candy. Does it smoke? I don't know. They're like, Dad, see if this smokes. I don't know. Here's a Laffy Taffy. You know?
Yeah, it's fun, man. But the Cap'n Crunch, they did like the Cap'n Crunch because they were like Rice Krispie treats. So I did give them that. So
Can I make a suggestion? Can I instead of just posting it on TikTok? So probably about 3 months ago or a couple of months ago, we visited one of our fast food restaurants, Whataburger. I don't think that's up there in your area. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before, but
Whataburger?
Whataburger, yeah.
Yeah, that's Wahlberg, right?
No.
No, that's Wahlberg.
Yeah.
So they end up screwing up my order like bad, and I had to go back and had to really kind of like control myself to become that guy. I was like, man, just please just make it right. I know you're not doing it on purpose. So they made it right. So they threw in a couple of fried apple pies. I was like, all right, cool. So I got home and it was for the kids. We'd had the smoker fired up, and we're fixing to go to town on some, I don't know, bacon wrapped boudin and chicken and stuff like that. And we're like, hey, why don't we just maybe throw a couple of slices of bacon around this fried pie and throw it in the smoker? Dude, it was awesome. So hey,
I've gotten apple pie a couple times.
have you? Okay.
People want me to smoke apple pie. I haven't done it yet, but
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to get one of them little hand pies or fried pies, whatever you call them.
Who was it that made
that's
those
it.
back in the
I'm not-
day? Was it Little Debbie's?
I don't bake, so I'm not like making an apple pie and
Nah,
freaking
I think you're probably just rolling by McDonald's and just getting a couple of
Just get the little box pies.
their fried pies. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yep. That would be cool. And wrap them in bacon and smoke. I'm doing it, and I'll tag you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask you: other than the does it smoke? What is the weirdest thing you've ever barbecued, meat wise?
Meat wise, the weirdest. Yeah, outside of the does it smoke stuff, I didn't smoke it or barbecue it, but it kind of still in the same genre, you know, in the same niche. It's I did beef tongue. I just did cow tongue last week.
That's one thing I've never ventured into.
Yeah, we did get a
That's
message
good
from somebody
answer,
about
then.
that too.
If you've never eaten it, it's a pretty good answer then.
Yeah, somebody actually sent us a message asking about your beef tongue, saying that it looked phenomenal and that they can't wait to try something like that.
I did see the
really.
I did see you did beef cheeks, but I did not see the beef tongue.
Oh, those beef cheeks were incredible.
Oh yeah.
You know, the beef cheeks were insane. And so when I got the beef cheeks, I get all my meat, all the Wagyu that I get from Black Hawk Farms, who I'm partnered with. And they're out of Kentucky, just incredible small farm, small business, and they're great. Plug for them. But they sent me the beef cheeks, and they're Wagyu beef cheeks. So I did them with a porter beer and sweet onions, and just let them friggin' smoke until they reached like 210, and they just fell apart. And I did tacos with them, and then I was like, man, I want a beef tongue. So they sent me a beef tongue, Wagyu beef tongue, and my memories of beef tongue are so bad. I have family in Ohio, in Columbus and Fulton. Columbus is, in the city, and then Fulton is like in the sticks, like cow tipping, area. We'd go there and like go gigging for frogs and have frog legs, But my Aunt Norma would always make beef tongue. I swear, if we went there for 4 nights, we would have beef tongue 3 nights of the week. And she like boiled it in water with like salt, and then like just sliced it. I don't even think she took the skin off. So you're like thick with taste buds.
That's the bark.
My memories were so damaged that I was like, man, I think I've gotten to a point where I could do something pretty good with that. And I asked Ben to send me a beef tongue, and he did. And then I started researching a little bit, and I found I'm a huge fan of Guga Foods on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know Guga.
I don't think so.
All right, look him up. He's a legend. Guga. He has 2 YouTube accounts, both in the millions. Guga Foods, and then he has a page called Sous Vide Everything, right, where he does everything with sous vide. Everything he cooks, he sous vides. So I took his recipe from his sous vide everything beef tongue, and I sous vided the beef tongue. So I brined it for 24 hours, and then I put it in the sous vide for 24 hours. So it sat in my kitchen for 24 hours in a sous vide container. And imagine how my vegetarian wife felt for that day.
I'm sure your boys thought it was awesome.
Oh, they thought it was so cool, but she's like, "Is there really a tongue sitting on my kitchen counter?"
No.
You know, she's cool. She's not like a crazy vegetarian that like is, you know, nuts, but she didn't like it. But I did that for 24 hours, and then I took it out and chopped it up, and I seared it in cast iron with a little bit of butter and got a little texture on it. And man, if I handed you one, you would have no clue it was beef tongue. And it completely changed my entire thought process of those damaged memories that I had back when I was a kid.
They looked amazing.
What does it resemble, texture-wise, taste-wise? What does it resemble? Are we talking steak or is it
like liver?
Liver. Okay.
Like kind of grainy and mushy. Like that grainy kind of feel. If you don't change that texture, and that's what needs to be done. Like you have to, unless you like it, like you have to change that texture, at least for me. And that's what the cast iron did. It really turned it into just, you know, super flavorful. And the brine, I don't brine things a whole lot, but the brine really did help it too. So I actually called Black Hawk the other day, and I asked him, my mom lives down in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach now, and she's the one that made me eat beef tongue when I was a kid growing up whenever we went to Ohio. So I had Ben send her one. So she texted me today. She got a box with beef tongue in it this morning.
That's awesome, man.
I'm like, go ahead, Mom. Do your work.
That's awesome, dude.
So we did get a couple of questions from listeners, and this first one, you might be able to guess who this is from, but they said, ask him what it feels like to have the second best mac and cheese on TikTok.
Yeah. I know who that is. That's your previous guest that you had before me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Listen, I do have to, before we wrap up, I have to say that, anything that I've done on social media, especially TikTok, and a couple of these other platforms that I'm on that have grown because of my TikTok, any brand deals I've done, all that kind of stuff, I would not have done any of it if it wasn't for T. And that's, as blunt and straightforward as I could be. She is the first one she's the reason I got on TikTok. She had hit me up one day on Instagram because we were both from Jersey, right? And she was like, hey, I'm on this new app. They reached out to me. They want me to be in their creator program. Do you think you'd want to try it? I think you should. They pay, a monthly pay for you to post like 30 videos. And no one knew what TikTok was at this point. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. And the rest is history, man. It's, so none of this would, and she knows it. I tell her all the time. None of this would be possible without, her pushing me. And what's so cool is we keep in touch. We talk every day, me, T, and a friend of ours, Erica, who we've gotten, to be really good friends with too. Cook Like Erica, I believe is her. She just changed her name because she was keto, but she wanted to kind of venture out of that keto, box.
Rebrand.
Yeah, because she cooks just such awesome food, man, and keto has been great for her, but she can do so much more. So But the two of them, man, they're like the sisters I've never had, and that's what's so cool about social media is to be able to make some real friendships and relationships with people that honestly you've never met face to face, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, her mac and cheese is good. I made it. I made her recipe and she made mine. We had a little battle on TikTok with it, and I'm gonna have to get her again. We got to do another battle. You guys should.
I feel like we need to throw down in that mix as well.
Well, here's what we need to do. I think that you guys need to DM her and I, or maybe post it in your stories or something. And because her and I, we had a lot of fun with that challenge on TikTok. Like there was a ton of engagement. People were commenting, like people love beef. And yeah, I mean, in terms of drama. Right? Mm-hmm. People love when people have, beef with each other. And T and I do a real good job of kind of getting back and forth at each other in a respectful way. But some of these people on TikTok think you're serious because they don't know you, and it increases the value of everything when you're part of that. So we were talking the other day, like, yo, we need to do another battle. Like, let's figure out what to battle on. I'm not doing a breakfast item because she's like the breakfast queen. There's no way I would compete with that. The mac and cheese was fun, so we got to come up with something else, and maybe you guys could throw something out for us.
Okay,
and we could do it
for sure, absolutely.
But she does, by the way, she does have a smoker in her backyard, so like smoked food isn't off the table.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to throw me a little advantage,
I was just going to say that doesn't seem super fair, but yeah, we can do that.
Now, is this going to be geared more for our area or for up where you guys are at?
Everywhere,
because the nature of the food could change for sure. Because down here, I like me some manure. You know what I mean? Like you smoke me some of that, I'm gonna be good.
Okay, so yeah, let me ask you one more question because I know we're getting short on time here, and this is actually a question we got from a couple different people like that are really trying to grow their social media, and obviously you're just killing it. Do you have one tip for somebody that's really trying to grow their social media? Like what should they do? What do you do?
Yeah.
I think right now, in addition to all the things that most people that have had success will tell you, like be consistent, post good content, give value, provide value. Like you'll hear all those same things. But I think right now what is a huge, huge thing for people, because I think a lot of people are lacking it in their daily life because of the situation we're in. And we've even talked to T about this, like show your face, show your personality, be who you are, and show yourself on camera. You're building a relationship with these people. You really are. Like your followers become your friends. Like they really rely on you for entertainment, for laughs, for recipes, for content, they really are. So to be able to look at your phone while you're filming and talk in a way that is real and shows who you are is a huge, huge thing that I think helps me have the success that I have. Like I look at a lot of accounts, a lot of guys that I'm really good friends with now. Max the Meat Guy. He's awesome. Like he's so good at what he does. He just made this steak cake. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did see that.
It went crazy viral. Like he has people ripping off his idea and just, I hate saying ripping off because he's inspiring people to do it. And that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
But his production value of his videos is like through the roof. Nick DiGiovanni, who's a buddy of mine, blowing up right now on TikTok. I think he's gone from 1 million to like almost 4 million in like 3 weeks. The kid's just killing it. He was on Master Chef last season with Gordon Ramsay. and made it to the final 3. The kid's 22 years old. Like, his production value of his videos is like through the roof. People love him. For me, I think they love me because I carry my phone in my hand in my kitchen with my dogs barking and my kids at my ankles trying to light my charcoal in my friggin' backyard.
You're keeping it real. I mean, you're
right.
Yeah.
Like, but that's real for them because they don't have kids. Nick's 22, freaking living his dreams, like that's
He's
what
got a whole
people
studio set up in his house.
Right, like, but people love that. Like, they want to be 22 doing that, So Nick's inspiring people by what he's doing and what he's been able to achieve. Max is inspiring people in his way. I inspire people my way, So there's so much value out there, and I think a lot of it has to do with how much you really show yourself. The first thing you see in any of our videos is our face. Go look at any of Nick's videos, any of Max's videos, any of Chef Kuso's videos. All these guys, they're showing their personality, their face. T does a great job of it now, showing her face. People want to know who she is, So that's my best advice is like be willing to be you as much as you can. It's hard sometimes because you feel like you got to say a certain thing or act a certain way because you're on camera. And it's just not true, man. I think people want the real thing, as much as they can get it.
Yeah, I see John over here taking notes. I mean, he's really
Yeah, I mean, we're already up to like 300 followers on TikTok, so I'm not gonna
crushing it.
I got you. I'll do edit video.
Perfect.
So I did, but that's like things like that. You know what I mean? Like I started a couple weeks ago. I've gotten away from it because I've had to focus on a couple other things. But I started this thing called a food slap, and I was posting videos every day. I would pick one a day. I would pick one account that I thought was a great account, and I focused a lot on younger kids that were wanting to cook and be chefs. And I would take one of their videos and I would duet it. And I had a piece of meat and I would slap it, because it was called, the hashtag was food slap. And slap stands for spread love and positivity.
Wow, I didn't know that part.
Spread love and positivity. So I was handing out food slaps. Wow. So I was spreading love and positivity through food and helping grow small accounts, So a couple of the first ones I did, and I'm excited to get back to doing it. But the first couple that I did, the one kid, his name is Cook. Brian Can't Cook. He's a young kid. He's like 16 or 14. Ryan Can't Cook. If you guys look him up on TikTok, the kid is a riot. He's a riot. I love him. He's like one of my adopted students now. But I food slapped him. And when I did it, he had like 900 followers. He's up to I think he's almost at like 20K now.
Wow.
Damn.
And it's been like 3 weeks. But the food slap helped. He gained about 5,000 in like the day that I slapped him.
Holy shit.
Gained like 5,000 followers.
Well, could you just slap the shit out of us?
It hurts so good.
Right? But then he took that momentum and he just started busting out content, man. You could look, the quality of his content, his personality. Because I told him, you watch one of this kid's videos, his voice is just different. Like the way he talks, it's just engaging. And that's the kind of stuff that works. That's what does it. It's either that or create some kind of big beef drama type thing and grow your account that way.
Right. Well, nobody wants that kind of nonsense.
Or steal someone else's content. There's a lot of people out there stealing content, growing their accounts too.
Sure. And that's pretty shitty.
That's been happening for years, so there's no way around it.
Right, man. So like James said, we're running out of time. But what's just in closing, man, what's in the future for you, man?
Yeah, guys, I'm like riding this social media thing out as long as I can. I'm looking forward in the spring, hopefully, to get back at the catering and events and being around with the people that I teach with and the community that I'm in, be able to start serving up some food again, because that's what I love doing the most. The social media thing has really blown up, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So that's become almost like a full-time job. So I'm excited about that. There might be some conversation in the next year about a brick and mortar, about a restaurant style, Texas style, maybe, shack that people could come to. Groark Boys, we'll see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Groark Boys Barbecue on all social media. I'm just looking forward to continuing to grind out content and cook and just keep spreading love, man. This food's a special thing, man. You guys know it. It brings people together in a way that not many things do. And that's why I got into it. It's why I stayed in it. And it's why I'm so passionate about it now. So being able to meet you guys and people like T and, that legit feel like family is something that there aren't many hobbies that you can say that about.
Totally agree.
Really quick, I know Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Are we smoking or are we frying a turkey?
I'm smoking it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm smoking.
Any tips? Brining, injecting, all the above?
So I got a tip from a buddy of mine, Chad Rosenthal, who has a restaurant in Philly called The Lucky Well. And I've talked to him a lot about turkeys, and he does turkeys every Thanksgiving at his restaurant and sells them to go, for pickup. And he rubs the skin in mayonnaise before he seasons it and smokes it.
Interesting.
Mayo. He rubs the whole freaking turkey in mayo. And I'm a huge mayo fan. I love it. But the mayo just provides some incredible moisture. It works well. I put butter under the skin, mayo on the skin, and it helps get that nice crisp skin. The one I did last year was my first time doing that. It turned out great. I think there's a few things I'll do to tweak and hopefully make it a little better, but try that mayo trick and let me know how that goes.
Okay, no, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've heard the mayo trick, when you're trying to brown up some bread or, doing the buns and making hamburgers and stuff like that. So
grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Yes, always.
Yep. I'm a mayo guy on my grilled cheese.
Yeah, I think John turned us on this, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So mayo on your turkey before you smoke it.
All right, we'll try it, man.
There it is.
Yep.
So, hey, Matt, I know you didn't get into this thing to get praises and all that stuff, but, hey, we thank you for the stuff that you're doing and the community work and the philanthropy work that you're doing in your community. Hey,
admirable,
we're
man.
saluting.
We love it.
Yeah, definitely. And we thank you for being on the show. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we can catch up with you a little bit later on down the road.
You know it, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Yes,
take
sir.
care, Matt.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it was solid. I liked it, man. It was fun. He's engaging, and I mean he's a talker. I love that guy.
Very personal.
Yeah.
He's very personable.
That dude loves people and loves
He
to
does.
cook.
You can tell, man. You can.
I feel
tell.
like if Jan probably missed out on this one. I feel like this is probably a perfect
for sure
interview for Jan. Just like T was. I mean, just very engaging, right in just that whole personality.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to drag anything out.
No, I think Jan was here, we'd probably just be all just sitting on the sideline, just like
Letting those two talk?
listening. Yeah.
I'd be leaving in the morning at 4:00. Like, hey, all right, guys, I'm out of here. You know, because they still talking. No, man, but it was awesome, man. That dude's so admirable. Like what he does is awesome, dude. You know what I mean? And he's just a personable person, man. There's no other ways to
Yeah, I mean, for the people out there that are maybe striving to cook barbecue or striving to maybe grow your social media.
Right, let him slap you.
Definitely, we want to get slapped the shit out of us. I mean, go for it, bro.
Call me bitch. Oh, I'll take that slap. All right. Damn it. I make good barbecue. All right, bitch, slap me all day. I don't care.
What is wrong with you?
I have no idea.
But seriously, hey, we really appreciate you coming on, Matt. So,
yeah, that was awesome.
All right. Hey, like we said in the beginning, I mean, we had a little technical difficulties with Matt, not Matt Groark, but Matt Sorge, our other partner on the show. So sad that he wasn't here, and then sad that Jan decided that he was going to go to Vegas.
That son of a bitch
Celebrate his
decided. Okay,
anniversary.
I'm not going to talk about that.
No. Hey, congratulations to them. I mean, it's their anniversary today.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Hey, and it's Veterans Day, too. So
It is.
we thank
Veterans
all
Day.
the men and women that have served this country. We salute you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, Alden, can you give these guys
The business? I sure can, homie. You guys know what to do, man. I've been telling you guys for about how many years been doing this? 15 years?
1 year?
1 year.
Okay,
It's
damn
been
it,
1 year.
So not that many years I've been telling you guys, but man, you guys know
It's
what to
been
do.
7. What's that song?
18 days, saving Abel. I don't know. No, but
think I was singing
enough of the
Smash Mouth.
nonsense. But guys, you know where to go, man. www.grab. How many W's I put in there just now?
That was the right amount that time.
www.grabeminthebrisket.com.
Yeah, I think if you put 4 W's, it takes you to some alternate reality.
Right, yeah. That's the dark web.
What if you
We
put
don't want to go
two?
there.
Then I don't really know.
Then probably the
Yeah.
government's going to knock on your
Anyways,
door.
yeah. Go to
Anyways.
grabthebrisket.com.
All right, so yeah, go to grabthebrisket.com, which is on Twitter as well, right? Grab him in the brisket, at grab the brisket. All of them. I don't know. These guys threw me off just now. Anyhow, guys, you know where to go, man. You can find anything that you need from us on our website. It's www.grabeminthebrisket.com. Comment good, bad, and different. We love the response from our listeners. We do. We really love it, and some of you guys will want to say like, hey, I love you guys. I want to meet you. Some of you guys will be like, I still want to meet you too, even though you hate me. But you know what I mean. So
Exactly.
like I say, man, get our merch there. You can drop some content on. Like, hey, you want to ask some questions? You know what I mean. We'll bring them up. So that's where it is, guys. www.grabeminthebrisket.com.
Yeah, so we appreciate the support, guys. And go out there and check out Matt Groark and Groark Boys Barbecue, the Instagram page. I know it'll probably take you to a site that maybe you can probably buy a couple T-shirts or maybe do a little funding for the causes and support him and what he's doing. And then if you want to slide over there and grab him the Brisket T-shirt, by all means, go for it.
Yeah, or like 12 of them. That'd be cool.
Half a dozen, maybe Baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen, for
Exactly.
sure.
We love that.
Yeah.
It's like 14, right?
Okay.
We appreciate it, guys. We'll see you later.
Later.
As Matt would say, thanks. We've been great.
Dang it, Bobby. Just grab the brisket. Thanks for listening, guys. Special thanks to our sponsors, Jealous Devil Charcoal, Getty, CoolieNation, Cambro Manufacturing, Texas Brew Hopper, Smoke Sheet, and Fiesta Spices. For more information on those companies, please check out our website at grabinthebrisket.com.